My name is Pamela, and I am a board-certified and registered art therapist, and I've been doing this for some 35 years. We are going to talk about creatively quieting the inner critic. So I'm just curious, how many of you came because it was something to do with art? Okay. How many of you came because you're like, oh yeah, inner critic? I got that. Okay. So a little bit of both, right? So we all have the inner critic. And I just want to ask, do I have your permission to be honest and like tell you stories and share things with you? Okay, okay. Oh, is anybody sitting here thinking, I can't draw and I'm a bad artist? Okay, okay. You're my favorite client. You're my favorite person. I find it harder to work with artists because artists already have that, they have the language of colors and shapes and design, and I like the more raw because it just comes out of the subconscious, right? And I really truly believe that you can't change something if you can't see it. You got to be able to see it first in order to change it, because if we're oblivious to it, how are we going to change it, right? And I literally mean this. Like, we are going to put our inner critic on the paper. We're going to see it. We're going to look at it. We're going to confront it. To make your critic your ally, because that's really what we want. We want to take that internal voice that's never going to go away, right? And we want to, how can it be our MVP? I do want to just take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for showing up here. Thank you for investing in yourself. It's hard to get out of the house and put yourself in traffic and it's cold outside, you know, but you guys all showed up, and I think that says something about who you are. You're like, I'm investing in me, right? And I think people who take those steps, and you even had to pay some money, right? You had to pay some money to be here. And so take those steps and invest in yourself. I think that's worthwhile. Sometimes our critic says, you don't deserve it. No, I don't have time. Don't listen to that fool. All right. I would like to just jump straight into the art. Everybody grab a piece of paper. There's paper on the table. And we're just going to do some warm-up exercises. And I just want you to draw circles. You can draw outlines of circles. You could color circles in. You can draw big circles. You can draw one big circle and a lot of circles inside of it. Doesn't matter. Just draw circles. Enjoy it. Just kind of loosen up with that. You know, when we do something repetitive, like drawing circles over and over again, if we do something repetitive, we're putting ourselves into sort of a meditative state. We slow down our brain waves. We can just concentrate on exactly what you're doing right now. As you're drawing your circles, be aware of your breathing. How many people are hearing a little bit of their critical voice coming up? But this is part of it. You know, we're becoming aware. We're becoming aware of our critical voice. I find that, you know, when I'm working with like really highly intelligent, motivated, high-achieving people, you know, and they're constantly solving problems. We solve something like thousands of problems a day, right? Just what color shirt should I wear? Which direction should I go in when I, you know, go to the store? We think, well, if I'm smart enough, if I just think harder, I'll find the answer to the problem. And sometimes we need to step away from our left brain and be more creative and just do something that has nothing to do with the problem, and then the answer comes to us. Because what our right brain does is it makes connections between seemingly unconnected things. So it's really good at helping us problem solve. What I find it with art, there's always a moment of frustration, always. It's same with cooking and gardening and dancing and music, and there's always a moment where you're going along, it's going well, and then you're frustrated because it's not going well. And learning to tolerate frustration is a great tool. I have seen art be able to reduce anxiety, be able to reduce depression just from getting lost in the process, tapping into that creative brain. It can really calm your nerves down. All right, let's talk about the inner critic. Everybody has a different inner critic, right? And I can tell you, now I've been a therapist for 35 years, right? And I have worked with people who are, CEOs at Netflix, big time movie producers, because I lived in Los Angeles for a long time, people who are professional athletes, people who are movie stars, people who look like they've got it all, right? They have made it, and their life is falling apart. Their relationships are falling apart, their health, because of that critic, because of that inner critic, what that voice is saying to them over and over again. I think I must have been in 5th grade. And I had a crush on Don Hummel. Oh my God, I had such a crush on him. And I remember showing off in the swimming pool, trying to get his attention. And one day he comes over to me at the playground and he's like, "You're a Jew, I'm German." And he spit in my face, right? And that was the first time I realized I don't fit in, right? I'm not supposed to be here, or I'm different than other people, right? And so, it was always like, "Oh, you're a Jew." I grew up in this very Italian part of Ohio. It was all mafia Italian, and I'm the Jew. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and I was living in a very Jewish community, 90% Jewish. And in that one, I still didn't fit in because I wasn't Jewish enough. But I know that's just my inner critic, right? And everybody has their own inner critic. And it might be saying, "You're not smart enough," or "Somebody's going to find out you're a liar," or, we'll get into all the things that it could be. What does it say to you? And sometimes we don't even know because it's so automatic. I call these thoughts our automatic negative thoughts. They're so automatic. It goes from thought to anxiety or anger or grief or whatever so quickly we don't even hear the thought. But I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes, and I want you to know whatever you write down on that piece of paper, somebody else in this room has felt it. I'm too big, I'm too small, I don't have enough money. Everybody feels this way. Everybody feels this way. So I want you to know that.